Hello everyone, welcome back to another Albion Online video. Now, today's video is about something that a lot of people have been asking me about, which is what items can or can I not sell in the black market. Now, that's exactly what we're going to go over today, because there's obviously some items that are very bad and some items that are very good. So stay tuned as we're going to go over everything that you need to know about black market listings and the best items to sell. So first of all, I have in my inventory boots. Now, I have all the different types of boots. The first thing we're going to have to know is the difference between the different items, right? So I have segregated them into different segments. So the first one are non-artifacts. Now, a lot of you guys may also not know what an artifact is. So basically, artifact is a piece of like a fragment that you're given when you do a dungeon, when you do some mobs, like in different ways of the game, and they're basically like a constituent of an item that you can craft. So, for example, if you look at the soldier boots, we'll see that it only requires 8 bars to craft. However, if we take a look at the Graveguard boots, we'll see the same 8 bars plus the artifact, which is, in this case, it's the ancient bindings. So, now that we know the difference between non-artifacts, which are these 3, and artifacts, which are all of these 5, there are differences between these. Now, the difference between these artifacts basically relies on their composition. So, there are currently 5 different types of artifacts. So the first one, it's going to be artifacts compounded by runes. Now the runes are one of the most common drops, so they're also going to be one of the most common artifacts. This basically means that the items made with runes are going to sell the most within the artifact category. Then we jump to artifacts that are made by souls. Now the souls are still common, however they're less common than runes. So they are still going to sell, but not as many as in the rune artifacts. Lastly, we have the Judicator boots that are crafted with relic artifacts. Now, relic artifacts are very rare now. So it basically means that these ones are going to sell very little. And finally, the Boots of Valor. Now, these are crafted with Avalonian shards. And these are very rare. So this one's pretty much don't sell in the black market. And within the artifact category, there's also the Duskweaver boots, which pretty much are item crafted with these artifacts that are pretty much just dropped from certain mobs. So they're still rare, but probably not as rare as the Boots of Valor. Now, this being said, the objective here is not to discourage you from selling Judicator boots or Boots of Valor. Basically what we're trying to say here is that don't put 1,000 Boots of Valor for sale in one day, because it's not going to sell. So instead of doing 1,000 Boots of Valor, consider doing 1,000 Graveguard boots and maybe like 10 or 15 Judicator boots, because this way you have a little amount which is going to still sell and it's not going to be stuck there forever. This being said, now that we know the differences between the different artifacts and we kind of know what influences the amount of items that are sold in the black market, let's really quick go over to the guy and see in real time and see how many units of each item sells per day. Okay, here we are at the crowd of people, and the first thing we're going to notice is that I only have tier 4 boots, and they're all pretty much the same quality. So let's see how many boots sell on each item. So soldier boots 4.0, they're selling roughly 1,800 units per day, because this is the 4 weeks market history, and basically each candle is a day. So 1,800. Knight boots 2,500. Guardian boots 1,200, 1,000. Let's say 1,300. Now, if we see Graveguard boots, we'll see that only 150. So it's a major hit, like 10%, only 10% of the sales, for example, of the soldier boots, right? So they sell in a way lower quantity. Now, if we look at demon boots, this number even goes lower. So it went from 150 to 30. And now if we search for Judicator, it goes down to like 10 10, 10, 11, like 15 maximum, right? So as you see, there is this big difference when you jump from non-artifact to artifact. There's a big jump. Then when you go from rune to soul, which is the graveguard to the demon, you see another big leap. And when you go from demon to judicator boots, you go even further down. And if we search for boots of valor, this is even worse. It doesn't even sell, so it sells every once in a while. And finally, the Duskweaver boots, they come into kind of a different category, but they do sell a little bit. They sell 10 units a day, somewhat equal to the Judicator boots. Okay, so what do we take out of this conclusion? Well, it takes that if you want to sell on black market, you ideally want to sell items that don't have artifacts because they sell in way bigger quantities. And if possible, you can also sell the artifact ones, but they will sell at a slower rate. So it's not a don't sell, it's a like perhaps don't dump 1,000 Judicator boots at once. Maybe do 10, maybe do 5. So they don't stay on the black market for 10 years to sell. Okay, now you may be wondering, but Nindies, can I sell anything on the black market? Well, you can pretty much sell anything. And by this I mean there are a couple of items that the black market, it either doesn't buy them at all, or it buys in very little quantities. Now, what items those are, you may ask? Well, items such as consumables, the black market does not buy. So anything that you can use, it doesn't. Now, there are some items that it does buy, but it pays so little. Items such as gathering gear. So if you search for Skinner, like you can sell things here, like you can sell skinning knives here, for example, but it's simply not profitable, such as hammers as well. I mean, okay, hammer, maybe sickle. Yeah, it does buy them, but it does not pay a fair value. So, in 90% of the times, it is not worth for you to sell these items here. You can always just jump down through this portal here and sell them at the regular Carlian market. Now, what is important to know as well when selling in the black market? There are some items that sell very, very good, and they have very few crafters. I'm talking about items such as the capes. Now, when you see the chart here, it doesn't look like they sell a lot. Like, see here, nothing sold for a day, but this is merely a glitch. So, but basically what happens here is that are all clumped up in these individual sales. So here it sold 200, it sold 130. So capes are very good and very underrated, especially the capes that no one crafts. I'm talking about keeper capes, heretic capes. Like no one is crafting tier 6 capes, tier 7 capes. So it's a great opportunity not only to sell in the black market, but to make very good profit from it. That is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about the black market or how it works, please let me know. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. And that's it. Thank you so much, and Nindies out.